Howdy, travelers. Shall I deal you in as we're all sitting around this table? We all love Hearthstone, but I have a question while we play our games, and we all enjoy it. What if we had more interesting races join the Alliance or Horde here in Azeroth? Now, I know our last roundabout talking about something like this got kind of heated, but allow me to just clear the air and just have some fun. I want to see more outlandish races join the Horde or Alliance, like the Saberon from Draenor joining the Alliance or Horde. But we're going to have some fun. That's all I'm asking. And to keep everything respectful, I have again 4 rules, 2 simple, 2 fourth wall breaking to be fair. Just so everyone can be on the same playing field. Rule 1. Any races that is sentient and has the drive to do more on Azeroth is valid. That means Murlocs all the way in the back. Sorry, Sir Finley. Murlocs aren't going to be joining the Alliance or Horde as a race. Rule 2. No full new races. Sub-races of other races, like, say, the Saberon having a new sub-race to join the Horde, that's valid. But a whole new race, let's say a bunch of satyrs that come out of nowhere that are, instead of being typical satyrs, are now half Worgen or half wolf down there. No, I'm sorry, that just doesn't work. It'd be interesting, but that's for another video maybe. And now, 2 rules that are more fourth wall breaking. Rule 3, try to use the story to tie in your race to their faction to make it just go valid somewhat. Be like, hey, I've seen dragons. We have the dragon here, but let's have actual dragons join the Alliance. Why? That's the reason for Rule 3. And Rule 4, try to explain how we would model. You know, it grounds it, makes it a bit more realistic, but it isn't a hardcore needed rule. That's like Rule 3.5-ish. Not exactly needed, but it could make it a bit more fun for some people who enjoy that. Now, when I start, I'm going to give a race for both the Alliance and Horde, respectively, first. And then I got another one that is a set of 2. That is just a quick spitball, just to throw out really quick, just to give just a fun what if, as on top of what I'm already doing. So next is going to be the first race. Now hold on, you every player who went through hardcore and died to Hogger, hear me out when I say give them to the Alliance. There's 2 reasons. 1, I want this to be during midnight, that maybe they go from the animalistic pure pack to more of a somewhat refined family-based system, which would somewhat fit in with the housing system coming in midnight. But as well as that, the other reason being the Worgen finally can be an ambassador to another major race, or an allied race, even that. A major character like Darius, who's been absent since Legion, who survived Legion's events through the Warrior campaign as we know of, what if he was injured after the events of Legion, maybe during BFA, or even during the events of Shadowland, or in between Midnight and the War Within, and Darius ends up with a pack of gnolls, somewhat, just because he looks like a big gnoll, somewhat. Given how Worgen gnolls look like, we could just say they're dumb. They teach each other things. Darius recovers and teaches them, sort of more of a pack family mentality. And through this, he assists in uniting several clans or groups of gnolls, and that is the kind of gnolls we get through that with the Alliance. And before they fully join the Alliance, we could have a Worgen druid like Selene of the Harvest, or maybe even the one who started the whole Worgen pack identity through the form of the pack completely join in, and suddenly we got the gnolls joining the Alliance after a very long time. Somewhat them trying to make amends for all the stuff they did to the original human adventurers that died in Elwyn. And next is a very fun topic that's going to take me a second. What I'm going to call the Vordorai, or the Broken Elves. More commonly known as the Past Naga. Fun fact, Nagas were supposed to be in original vanilla / classic WoW, but they were cut. This would see them return in a more elvish highborn form and taking on the new name of the Vordorai, meaning broken elves, after a very nice story event with Midnight and a lot of things coming. What if Ajara, while leading against Zalak, makes her own rebellion of sorts? She wants to rejoin. She may despise the people of Azeroth, but through this she may learn that there is strength in true numbers. Maybe she makes an ally with somebody that we wouldn't expect. Maybe she gains respect for somebody like Jaina or Lorthamar. And through this, she realized the bargain and her past were a mistake. She may be prideful, but pride cometh before the fall. Using this, she may resign, or there may be an event where she's killed, and the Naga under her seek out the original Night Elves, the Kaldurai, the elves and the children of the stars, and they don't fully reject them like they did the Nightborn, but they just can't accept the Naga as a society rejoining everything that has happened. So the current Naga turn to Celestra of the Nightborn, and Lorthamar and Romoth of the Blood Elves, and through that they are able to release their mind fully of old god corruption, and maybe not all their body, but enough that they are both modelable and enough to wear armor, but they are still unique. Maybe they have extra fins compared to the original Night Elves. Maybe instead of them having the normal hair, they have a bunch of scales. Maybe they keep part of their face from when they were a Naga. Maybe they have unique scarring, or actually have a tail. This would just be an interesting way to bring the Naga back in after being so long of us wanting the Naga. As well as seeing a Naga join the Horde for the same reason that the Nightborn did. But also seeing the reunion of all the elves during Midnight as what's supposed to be coming would be the perfect time to see them all band together, including the fallen Nightborn who would become the Vordorai in this supposed hypothetical. And now is the very quick throw out, just some very quick ideas of the Quillboar and the Furbolgs. Quillboar for the Horde, Furbolgs for the Alliance. Furbolgs simply because they were seen in Teldrassil before it's burning, Quillboar because they're in the Barrens. Just sort of throwing it out, and a quick way to come in would be Furbolgs because they were in Teldrassil. Maybe Malfurion knew something, or maybe because they're close ties to Ursoc and Ursol, with one of them dying. They could very well be they just joined with Malfurion and the Alliance. With Quillboar going through Hamul Rune Totem, who kind of stood out and didn't want to do a whole lot during BFA. Maybe it's just they were able to communicate with him, and he made a deal with them, and the Quillboar joined the Horde, and the Furbolg get a mix of the Orc and the special Bear Guardian Druid, with, the big Furbolg, big bear ancient looking one, as their partial model mix. And the Quillboar have maybe a face of Troll, like the original Troll, just updated and changed to fit them. Similar to how when Volterra being made, they used the Goblin face. Now, with all this said and all this done, I want to hear from you. My partner is messaging me and telling me it's time to hearth back to Dornagal so we can start the turbulent time waves coming soon. And it's a way I can see some old allies finally come back. And it will be fun to see them again. In a while. But that's enough of my rambling. What would y'all do? Tell your favorite babbling book you like. Would you subscribe? Would you want to hear more? Tell him to tell me what y'all want to do. Maybe y'all have other ideas. Maybe y'all would want me to think of more of these ideas. Maybe I could have fleshed out the Gnolls better, or the Quillboar, or the Furbolg, or maybe done more with the Naga. Maybe you have something with the Saberon from Draenor, or maybe the Botanai from Draenor as well, or maybe we get something special that we haven't seen. Maybe the Eredar become their own race. Let me know below. And as always, for the Alliance, for the Horde, and for Azeroth.